Our next awardee is the Global Engagement Studies Institute at Northwestern University, which combines academic training and hands-on international fieldwork. GESI students work in teams to pursue the social missions of local organizations, while designing and implementing small-scale development projects. With an aim to offer more inclusive engagement opportunities, nearly 50% of GESI initiatives involve students from underrepresented groups.
Accepting this award on behalf of GESI is Patrick Eccles, the Associate Director of Global Engagement Programs at the Howard Institute for Global Studies.
Morning. At Northwestern's Buffett Institute for Global Studies, one of our primary goals is to give undergraduate students the knowledge, tools, and experiences to confront shared global challenges. The centerpiece of our undergraduate programming is the Global Engagement Studies Institute, what we call GESI. It's an innovative study abroad program that involves students in the efforts of grassroots organizations to advance community-driven change. We're a program with strong student-driven origins and philosophical roots in Northwestern's asset-based Community Development Institute. GESI combines rigorous academic training through intensive pre-departure coursework and a final reflection summit with 8 to 10 weeks of hands-on international fieldwork. Through the program, participants live in homestays and work in interdisciplinary groups of 3 to 5 at NGOs committed to issues like women's empowerment, environmental sustainability, or income-generating innovations like the micro-consignment model designed by Ashoka fellow Greg Van Kirk. Everything we do in this program is shaped by inclusive and impact-driven partnerships. Diversity and inclusion are central to our program pedagogy on group-based learning. We've created a model that is always iterating in response to many voices, perspectives, and skills across multiple stakeholders. GESI is open to Northwestern and non-Northwestern students of all years and disciplines. We place a high value on the role of our partners as coeducators. Several years ago, we made a decision to keep our faculty at home. We are seeing that the traditional power dynamics of the classroom were sometimes following us into the field. Students were too often deferring to faculty as the experts rather than the local people they lived and worked with. So instead, students work directly with in-country partners who supervise and advise their work and guide their overall integration with the community. Students report back to Northwestern faculty on campus through weekly assignments, field essays, and they complete a journal which promotes group formation and personal reflection. This step was taken to prioritize the perspective of our partners on the ground, recognizing that they're best equipped to speak to the lived reality of development practice. Decisions like this inform our efforts to equalize student learning and community outcomes. A more recent example of these efforts is an initiative we piloted just last summer, allowing GESI alums to collaborate with our community partners on research that measures the impact of shared work between students and their host organizations. We've also made issues of access and equity in study abroad a major priority. In recent years, we've become one of the most diverse study abroad programs in the country. 72% of our students in last year's summer program were students of color, nearly a reversal of national trends for underrepresented students involved in study abroad. Forging effective campus partnerships has been a key to our progress in this area. Our program has become strongly identified with shared efforts at Northwestern to make our campus and programs more inclusive. We've collaborated with students, staff, faculty, donors, and other offices on campus to organize support for scholarships, intentional recruitment practices, and a peer education model that examines how identity, power, and privilege shape our experiences at home and abroad. As a values-based program dedicated to preparing students to collaborate across difference, we recognize the ways that diversity contributes to making a stronger community of participants, to building more successful and culturally competent teams, and to shaping better learning and project outcomes. Social movements of today are highlighting the systemic and infrastructural attention that's needed to address societal challenges like institutionalized racism, global inequality, corruption, and climate change. Assessments of our program show that students come away with a heightened awareness of structural justice and injustice. We know there's often a danger of stereotyping issues like corruption in countries like India if we refuse to acknowledge the anti-corruption fights of places like Chicago or Flint. It's not enough to try to unpack issues of race relations in Bolivia if we don't also make an effort to understand and respond to Black student experience on our own college campuses. Programs like GESI are answering the call to combine social innovation and civic engagement in higher education, where students work in groups, pursue critical reflection, and gain the empathy, imagination, values, and tools needed to collaborate and advocate for social change. Thank you to Ashoka and to the Cordis Foundation for recognizing our efforts with this award.